Here's the latest update on David Anthony Burke in connection with the murder of Celeste Rivas. He remains in custody without bail, facing extremely serious charges, including first-degree murder, continuous sexual abuse of a child under 14, and mutilation of human remains, charges that, if proven, could result in life in prison or even the death penalty. As his preliminary hearing approaches, the defense filed last-minute requests to change how he would appear in court. A judge did approve a basic grooming order, allowing him to get a haircut ahead of the hearing, but the request to appear in civilian clothing was denied. That means Burke will be brought into court in jail-issued attire, a detail that may seem minor, but in a courtroom, appearance can quietly influence perception.
The same day they're saying David committed the murder, they're also saying it's the same day he did this video. Now that's weird, but you know what has been going through my mind lately is why it took so long for them to arrest David. And apparently the sheriff did an interview on a small news channel and like hardly nobody's seen it. So let's react to this and let's understand why it took so long.
Currently segregated from the other inmates, correct?
That's correct, yeah. You know, first, our thoughts go out to the family for what they've had to endure, family of Ms. Rivas.
Yeah.
It's horrible to even imagine what they've been through for the last year.
Did you meet with them?
I personally have not. Our detectives have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what have they, I'm sure it's been a long, confusing process. Yeah. I can't imagine what they're going through.
You know, a lot of speculation because of the notoriety of the case. You know, so many people come up with their own ideas of what happened or didn't happen, and some of it was so far off the mark through the middle months.
So what has been so far off the mark? Because honestly, hasn't everybody been asking for this dude to be locked up for this murder? I mean, this is such a cut and dry case, in my opinion.
To this in particular, and you know, the family, while it may be entertainment for some, the family, it's certainly not. It's something very, very serious, and you know, I think we all need to take a step back on some of these major cases and let the process work its way through. Our detectives did a tremendous amount of work on this under very, very difficult circumstances, and ended up being criticized for not making an arrest fast enough.
Let's talk about that a little bit more. I think, you know, this case is getting a lot of attention not only because it is a singer and famous to many people, but also she was just 13 when she left her house and then murdered at 14 when she was just 14 years old. And it took 7 months after her body was found for him to be charged. And a lot of people are wondering, why did it take so long? Yeah,
you know, there's an awful lot that goes into you know, to the investigation. The state of the body when it was found was you know, degraded, decomposed, and that creates another set of circumstances of complexity for the investigators and the coroner staff to be able to come up with a determination as to cause.
That 7 months allowed David to get ready for this case, and that 7 months, the victim's family had to sit there and not say anything while they were basically hoping that somebody would be charged for the murder of their child. I mean, this is ridiculous. At this point, David could have moved money around. We know that he put everything in his parents' name, and let me tell you something, his parents, they're hiding something.
As a manner of death, whenever we have a death, and it's appropriate, a toxicology has to be done on it. And a tox takes up to 6 months to be able to get the results back from that. But that's critical to know what other factors other than what might have been visible were involved in the determination of the cause of death. So a lot of times it takes a while to be able to get the full picture, and this was one of those cases.
Outside of the timeline of the investigation and the timetable, what have been some other big misconceptions about this case?
Oh, there was things that were ludicrous that were put out there during the middle of it. The condition of the body, that part of it was frozen, and you know.
The whole body frozen thing, we could blame Traploor Ross for this, because he will take anything from Reddit and he'll make a video out of it. And he's from the UK. He doesn't even understand American, like, true crime or nothing. So let's blame the nerdy-ass UK YouTuber Traploor Ross.
The body was found in a vehicle, in the trunk of a vehicle. And, you know, things like that that are, you know, I can only imagine what the family was going through while this was playing itself out. But things that made no sense at all.
Because we know that his music has almost like art imitating life in a way. If you look at some of the lyrics, romantic homicide is one of the songs.
Right.
Could his lyrics and his songs be even a factor in a trial like this?
Oh, it'll be certainly introduced, I'm sure, and that's something that that will get attention during the trial, and we'll see how that plays itself out. It'd be speculative for me to say anything at this point about how that will look.
And you talked about the body being degraded to a point where it's a little bit more difficult to pull clues from that, extract clues from that. Obviously, there are things that you have not really told the public, or
right.
clues or things that you, in your fact finding here,
right.
that you have not released to the public. Because on the face of it, some people might look at it and look at this case as a circumstantial one.
Yeah, sure. No, there's things that certainly we don't put out there. It's not our role to be feeding the news media, if you will, or the concern of some of the public. We have enough to be able to have probable cause to make an arrest, and we present the case to the district attorney. They view all of the evidence and weigh it, and then be able to put together a presentation for a jury at some point. So to say anything beyond what's necessary at this point could potentially jeopardize the case, and we don't want to do that.
Are you looking at only him, or are you looking at the possibility of other people?
The investigation is ongoing, so yeah. I wouldn't say ever that it couldn't lead to other places, but okay. Yeah.
Other people definitely knew that this crime happened, and I think the parents are going to have to be looked into.
I wouldn't comment on that much at this point.
So the people came together, and they're actually going to go to change.org, and they're going to sign a petition to get David's music pulled from Apple and Spotify. And hear me out. The reason why is so he doesn't continue to profit off of this murder, and his family get all the benefits from it. His family, again, has everything in their name, and that was pre-planned. He had 7 months to plan, and there's a lot of premeditation murder. He lured her in that house, and ultimately, what prosecutors are basically alluding is that he tortured her, and her voice is in that album that came out weeks after she allegedly died. I mean, this case is disgusting, and honestly, after we got the Epstein files, don't put it past some kind of Hollywood sacrifice that David was trying to do, because, I mean, anything is possible at this point. Now, the last thing I want to get to in this video is days before Celeste was found, David came with this weird video of him preaching, of him finding God. Let's get into it.
What's up, everybody? It's David here. We are back with another David Prayers video. I know it's been a minute. Just got back from performing at the Caliucci's concert. Shout out to Caliucci's. But shout out to Jesus, too. Today, I'm going to talk about imposter syndrome as a Christian, especially in my eyes, how I view it. Sometimes, especially me doing music and things like that, it kind of gets hard to kind of navigate the bridge between your faith and your flesh. And honestly, just being completely transparent, it gets a little shaky on the walk because there's so many different things going on, and we kind of can't get wrapped up in the ebbs and flows of everyday life, and we got to keep on depending on Jesus, especially in now, the world is crazy, the world is crazy. But I just want to say, do not lose hope, do not lose your faith. We arrive on this earth with nothing. We spend our years chasing everything, and then we're going to die with nothing. So just make sure your spiritual hands are full before you leave this earth. Read that Bible, stay in that word, stay inspired, stay prayed up. But going back to the imposter syndrome thing, it's like you got to stand on what you believe in no matter what. Stand at 10 toes on literally everything, bro. You cannot fold on Jesus. Jesus will not fold on you, so you cannot fold on Jesus. You might be going back to school. I know it's September now, whatever. It's August 31st. But back to school, you're going to have a lot of influences around you. Stay focused, bro. That's all I really got to say for this video. It's a short one. The next video, I'm going to talk about some more in-depth stuff. But stay focused. You don't got to be distracted by the... Bro, Jesus got you. You got to have that build a personal relationship with Jesus. Think of it like Jesus and his 12 disciples. His disciples were through all different types of walks of life. Fishermen, tax collectors, people that was like, yo, Jesus, why you hanging out with that? Why you hanging out with him? Jesus does not dwell with people that think they're overly righteous or better than the next man. So when you look in the mirror and you're like, oh my gosh, why Jesus spending time working on me? I'm not worth it, You are worth it, I'm telling you. And you gotta believe that yourself. Like I said, back to the faith. It's all about that belief. I hit the 2:30-minute mark. I love y'all so much. We're gonna keep posting on this account. Shout out to the dude at my concert yesterday that was like, yo, you gotta post on your account, because I honestly forgot. So on the off days on tour, I'm gonna be posting and stuff. So God bless. Yeah!